What's up, friends? I'm John, this is Kangshul, and welcome to our second episode on Buam-dong. Today, we're setting up a showdown between three spectacular fried chicken spots in the neighborhood, revisiting a notorious North Korean surprise attack incident from the 1960s, and going even deeper into no-no land with a bonus meal of cheesy fried pork cutlet. It's time to get ready for some calories.
부암동은 서울의 다른 동네처럼 식당들로 가득 차 있진 않지만 이곳이 확실히 가지고 있는 것은 후라이드 치킨의 명성입니다. 저희는 그 점에 집중해 각자 개성 넘치고 서로 아주 가까이 위치한 세 곳의 다른 식당에서 맛있는 치킨을 먹어봅니다. 첫 번째로 가볼 곳은 세 곳 중 가장 후발주자로 부암동가는길이란 이름의 아늑한 곳입니다. 이곳은 정제된 기름이나 전분을 쓰지 않는 건강한 느낌의 치킨으로 알려져 있고 그 레시피는 근처 대학의 전통음식 전문가가 만든 것이라고 하네요. 고기는 부드럽고 촉촉하고 자연스러운 맛이고 튀김옷은 놀랍게 건강한 맛을 가지고 있습니다. 확실히 뭔가 자신의 색깔을 가지고 있고요. 맛있습니다. 신선하고 통통한 외지 감자도 함께 나오는데요. 아주 만족스러웠어요. 그리고 또 다른 맛의 치킨을 먹어보는데요. 땅콩이 뿌려지고 청양고추로 만든 소스에 버무려진 치킨입니다. 청양고추는 한국에서 나는 가장 매운 고추죠. 끈적하고 살짝 달콤하고 확실히 화끈하고 첫 입은 입안에 불이 붙는 것 같고 그 후로는 불꽃이 점점 커지는 느낌이지만 익숙해지고 나면 촉촉하고 부드러운 고기의 맛이 그 매운맛을 뚫고 느껴집니다. 정말 훌륭합니다. 다음으로 가볼 곳은 사이치킨입니다. 사실 저희가 이곳을 촬영한 지 시간이 좀 지났는데요. 최근에 이 동네를 방문했을 때 가게가 문을 닫은 것 같더라고요. 임시 휴업일지도 모르지만요. 완전히 닫은 게 아니길 바라봅니다. 여기도 맛있었거든요. 부암동 가는 길에서처럼 보통 치킨은 조각으로 잘라져서 튀겨지는데요. 사이치킨은 좀 더 옛날 통닭 스타일입니다. 뜨끈뜨끈하게 골든 브라운 색으로 튀겨져서 굉장히 바삭합니다. 두 가지 소스, 치킨무, 그리고 다진 마늘, 고추 조각들과 함께 간장 베이스의 드레싱에 버무려진 맛있고 신선한 숙주가 함께 제공됩니다. 풍부한 맛의 바삭바삭한 치킨은 정말 훌륭한데요. 꼭 다시 먹고 싶어요. 세 번째 치킨집은 몇십 년의 역사와 함께 건재한 계열사입니다. 어떤 사람들에겐 서울 최고의 치킨집 중 한 곳이죠. 여긴 오직 한 가지 치킨밖에 없는데요. 이 지역에서 나는 재료로 제대로 만들어지며 너무 맛있는 튀긴 감자와 치킨무, 그리고 살짝 매운 고추장 소스와 함께 제공됩니다. 몇 입 먹으면 벌써 이 치킨 찐이다 라고 마음속에 저장하게 만듭니다. 화려하고 꾸며진 맛은 아니지만 모든 걸 갖췄습니다. 촉촉한 육질에 적당한 세기의 간, 그리고 최고의 튀김옷. 사이치킨과는 또 다르게 바삭한데요. 튀김옷이 치킨의 구석구석까지 있고 풍성하고 중독적인 바삭함이 고기에 딱 붙어 있습니다. 차가운 맥주와 찰떡으로 어울리는 완벽한 치킨인 것 외에도 이곳의 치킨은 아마도 우리가 서울에서 먹어본 어떤 식당에서보다 클래식한 후라이드 치킨의 맛을 보여준 곳 같아요. 저는 다른 두 곳보다 이곳이 조금 더 마음에 들었는데요. 하지만 모든 곳이 다 수준급이었습니다. 서울의 맛집 레벨이 워낙 높으니까요. 자, 이제 완전히 다른 곳으로 방향을 틀어보겠습니다.
One must-tell tale that's forever linked with Buam-dong and memorialized by a pair of statues built near Changri-moon Gate is about an incident that climactically unfolded here over 50 years ago and that would have a monumental impact on South Korea in the modern era. Late at night, on January 17, 1968, a squad of 31 elite North Korean commandos discreetly crossed the DMZ into South Korean territory, tasked with a deadly assignment. Make a stealthy 40-mile trek down to Seoul, through bitter winter temperatures and mountainous terrain, break into the Blue House, the official South Korean presidential residence at the time, and assassinate Park Chung-hee, former military general, leader of a 1961 coup that erupted out of political and economic turmoil, and President of South Korea as of 1962. The mission came at a time when tensions between the two Koreas were building, but also when both South Korea and the United States were pouring an increasing amount of troops, resources, and attention into the Vietnam War. In hindsight, Kim Il-sung's regime saw the moment as an opportunity to strike a destabilizing blow against the South's government. The soldiers tasked with the job would take 4 days to reach Seoul, and they would go undetected except for one small hitch. 2 days into their journey, a group of 4 South Korean woodcutters stumbled across their encampment in the wilderness. Remarkably, despite having orders to kill anyone that got in their way, the unit's members took a vote and decided humanely to let the civilians walk away, after a stern warning not to talk to authorities and a brief TED Talks-like speech on the joys of communism. 2 days later, when the group had finally reached the capital, disguised as a South Korean counter-infiltration unit, it was here in Buam-dong, just a short walk from the Blue House, where they ran into trouble. The woodcutters had gone straight to local police, word had quickly spread, and by now, security was extra tight in this area. The commandos were stopped at a security checkpoint by one Choi Gyu-sik, chief of the nearby Jongno police station, and he could smell that something was off. After a short round of questioning, he asked to see if the soldiers were concealing any weapons, and then suddenly, chaos ensued. They quickly drew their guns, shot and killed Choi and his assistant inspector, Jong Jong-soo, and sparked an intense skirmish that would claim the lives of military personnel, police, and even civilians, including passengers of a city bus caught in the crossfire. Most of the North Korean troops would find a way to survive and escape into the hills north of Buam-dong, but in the coming days, they would all be tracked down and killed except for 2 men. One who would make it all the way back across the border and go on to become a top general in the North Korean military, and Kim Shin-jo, who was captured alive, imprisoned for a year, and then pardoned after cooperating thoroughly with authorities. He would remain in South Korea, would start a family and become a Presbyterian minister, and coming full circle, would go on to endorse Park Chung-hee's own daughter, Park Geun-hye, when she ran for president in 2012. In the end, the fighting left some 30 South Koreans dead and more than 50 injured, and the ripple effects caused by the incident were many. Over time, Park Chung-hee would use the event, among other things, to tighten control over the political activity and free speech of his people, and in the short term, sweeping new security measures would be created in the months after the raid. The Bugaksan mountain area behind the Blue House would be closed off to the public for decades, a new national ID card system would be implemented, and the length of mandatory military service required of all South Korean men would be extended for some time. On a personal note, this extension would even affect people like Kang Sul's dad, who entered the service in 1972 and who recalls a darkly humorous chant commonly sung by soldiers at the time. Because of Kim Shin-jo, my life is screwed. After all that, let's end things on a lighter yet cholesterol-filled note. Since we somehow need even more food, we're over at Buam-dong Donkkaseu 1979, a spot that specializes in deep-fried pork cutlet. It's a dish that first became hugely popular in Japan, but that Koreans have been riffing on for decades. And this place is known for doing it so right that it's sinful. We're having one tenderloin cutlet and one standard loin cutlet stuffed with an unhealthy amount of mozzarella cheese, and this meal is getting hot real quick. More crispiness and unbelievable decadence, a good hit of tang and spice, and freshness across the board. This is some of the highest quality donkkaseu that we've had, and it's a perfect way to close things out on a joyful, fatty note. Thanks for watching us stuff our faces, and catch y'all next time for Buam-dong Part 3.